Hey, we in the building. Yo, this is my first live in forever. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of got a couple stories going and I just hopped on. You feel me? Because we used to do this with regularity. We used to do this. Like, hold on, let me make sure my levels is good. Can you hear me? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? I don't I'm gonna give us some time because like I said, it's been a little minute since we did our live streams. And a lot has changed since then. A whole lot has changed since we did our last live stream. Um, I've been living in St. Louis since last summer. You know what I'm saying? We got Twin Dragon in the building. What's going on? How you doing? Tell your friends, tell people to go ahead and stream in. What my plan is to do streams here, because I want to give y'all an update just on like what I'm gonna be doing mostly with this channel going forward. Mara, it can really be. Yes, it is I. But I want to give y'all an update just on what I'm really going to be focused on this channel, and also a little bit about what I've been doing and stuff like that. But my plan is to do start live streaming again regularly, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. As like a oh, we got Alonzo in the building. We got Beat Town. What's going on? What's up, everybody? You know what I'm saying? Um, but my plan is to do streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, unless I'm, like booked somewhere else. And we'll do kind of like a breakdown of what's going on in the news and just other type of stuff. I may just do twice a week. We'll start with 3 times a week. I may just do twice a week just for the new when it comes to the news, just so we can do like a longer breakdown. So if I do it twice a week, then I might come on here and stream for like 2 or 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because then that way we'll be able to cover a lot. But we'll see. We'll see. Thank you. Appreciate you, Alonzo. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on getting some more. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that's hold on. Okay, so Twin Dragon, you got promoted since the last live stream. You manage more court versions as well. Well, congratulations, Twin Dragon, on the promotion. Very happy for you. Very proud of you because I know that you put in the work. I know that you are diligent, and I know that you care about what you do. So definitely congratulations to you and continued success. I hope the best for you. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing this for sure. Like I said, we'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe just Wednesday, Friday. But I want to do longer streams and we'll cover everything. But things have been going pretty well since I moved back to St. Louis. When I first moved back here, I just kind of wasn't in a very good place. And I don't necessarily just mean like financially, like that's up and down, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I just kind of wasn't in a very good place. And I needed to kind of reset myself and figure things out, gain some insight. And I've done that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not done doing that because, where you're never finished growing. Hopefully you're never finished learning. And I certainly am not finished with learning and growing, and I'm not finished making mistakes either because I'm a human being. So I will make more mistakes. And when I do, I will learn from them. But I'm in a much better place. I done gained 25 pounds since I moved back to St. Louis because my crackhead ass was on them amphetamines. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that? I ain't never hid that from nobody. I used to be line up, whatever it was. The speed is what I needed. If it was the cocaine or if it was a whole lot of Ritalin every day. I was going crazy with it. I stopped doing that. I got sober from that and I gained 25 pounds. And I ain't really, I kind of still look the same, but it just says a lot because I really don't have any body fat. That just goes to show how much of that shit I was doing. You know what I mean? Because like I've always been a lean guy. But you know, but yeah, no, I've gotten myself together, and a lot of what I want to do with this channel before we get into the stories that we got today. What I'm gonna be doing moving forward is I've partnered with a couple of people from around the country. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you. I'm doing my best. I partnered with some people in California and New York, and we're gonna be producing. We're already working on them, but we're producing documentaries. And in these documentaries, we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. Some of my projects are specifically related to the city of St. Louis, where I was born and raised and where I'm currently working. So these documentaries will cover things like historic neighborhoods that were torn down, or different types of famous people who came from St. Louis. All types of people, their contributions to the world and entertainment, architecture here, different types of historical events that have gone on. And my plan is to, not just to showcase St. Louis and its greatness, but to use that as a way to help facilitate investment and into the infrastructure here in St. Louis and into the people here in St. Louis. So that's a lot of what I'll be doing, with a strong focus on St. Louis, but also, um, outside of that, for instance, one of the documentaries I'm making right now is all about tattoos. So this will probably be a three-parter, and we'll talk about the sociological, anthropological, cultural, historical, things with tattoos, like the fact that human beings have been getting them forever, why we've gotten them, religious symbolism, how it's impacted art and culture today, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just interesting things that not just people can learn from and enjoy, but also too, just when it comes to like YouTube and the algorithm and stuff like that. I want to make projects that will just go further for a longer period of time because, it would, so like I said, I want to do my live streams. I'm gonna do my live streams 2 or 3 times a week, and we'll cover the news. But other than that, I want to focus more on other things, because with news, after a day or two, it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really relevant. So I'd like to put together projects that are just a bit more meaningful and long lasting for people. So I'm excited about that. And I'm working on 3 of them right now. And yeah, so other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you everybody for joining me today. And we're gonna keep this thing rolling. Now I'm on StreamYard, so we ain't got no more of that blue screen stuff that we used to have. So let me bring this up. Hold on. Let me share this screen. What we gonna do first? All right, we live reacting to all of this. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all either, man. As I've been getting myself together, I've been going through this and that, and just I haven't really been paying extra super close attention to Trump and politics, even though that's my job. There's more to life. So I've been trying not to get overly consumed with all of this. So here we go. Bernie Sanders calls Trump's big beautiful bill a death sentence, says it delivers $235 billion in tax break to the top 0.2%. Hold on. And y'all,
Thank you.
I gotta get these this ad blocker turned back on, because it's not right now. So I apologize.
Mr. President, the American people, whether they are Democrats, Republicans, or independents, understand that we have a corrupt campaign finance system which allows billionaires and their lobbyists to play an extraordinarily powerful role in electing candidates and defeating candidates and in crafting legislation. This is true of both parties, Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Money talks. But today, with Republicans in control of the White House, the U.S. Senate, and the U.S. House, we are seeing day by day how this corrupt process plays out for the priorities of the Republican Party and for their billionaire campaign contributors. Mr. President, this so-called reconciliation bill, President Trump's big, beautiful bill that the Republicans are putting together right now in the House, is a rather extraordinary piece of legislation. In many respects, given the crises facing our country, this legislation does exactly the opposite of what should be done. It's rather remarkable. You got a problem, and instead of addressing the problem, they make the problem worse.
Well, of course they do. That's the name of the game. You know what I mean? Of course they do. But we're gonna go ahead and let Pastor Bernie continue to preach his sermon. We could have had Bernie twice, but that's not what America chose to do. It is what it is now. Unfortunately, we are where we are. But Bernie is definitely somebody that doesn't. He's the type of person that just doesn't come around often. He's really a special man. And when he passes away, his when Bernie Sanders passes away, he's like his legendary status is going to be permanently cemented. I mean, like, cause you know how that goes. And he's lived a long life. He's not somebody who's like passed away too soon. He's in his 80s, so whenever that time comes, he will have lived a long, good life, and there will be a lot to really look at and learn from in terms of just his spirit of service. Um, yeah, that's one of the things I admire about him the most, or just people like him, because as much as I try to do my best, I fall short just like everybody else. But there's some people out here who are just they're just special. They're just they're just consistently empathetic and good. And obviously, I'm sure Bernie Sanders could be an asshole too because he's a human being. But y'all get what I'm saying. He's just a special type of person.
It is no secret that we have more income and wealth inequality in our nation today than we have ever had. Serious problem. Today, the wealthiest person in the world, Mr. Elon Musk, who is now worth more than $400 billion, owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American society. One person owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. Rather extraordinary. The top 1% now owns more wealth than the bottom 93%. And CEOs of large corporations now make about 350 times what their workers make. Unbelievably, according to the Rand Corporation, over the past 50 years, nearly $80 trillion, that's a T, $80 trillion in wealth has been redistributed from the bottom 90% of the American people to the top 1%.
And again, as y'all know, these type of things don't just happen naturally. It's not the natural order of things that wealth just creeps away from millions of people and goes into the hands of a couple of people. Obviously, we know that these types of things are intentional, and it takes long years to go down. I mean, really think about that. A lot of these people at the top of society who donate to political campaigns across the aisle, whether it's to Republicans or Democrats, these motherfuckers been rigging the game for decades. They were up like, oh, I remember when they, like people who at one point, when there were more strict tax laws for corporate America, for the super uber wealthy in this country, when there were stronger regulations, when union membership across the country was stronger than it is now. The big cabal of people were like, oh, we don't like this. They just started donating here, donating there, and corrupting this person and corrupting that person. And over the course of decades, that's how it gets done. But no, it's not the natural order of things, clearly.
So, what we have seen is the very wealthiest people in America are becoming much richer, while at the same time, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and many millions of families are struggling to just put food on the table. That is
60%, over half of Americans paycheck to paycheck. Rent is completely unaffordable in most places. I mean, a really good friend of mine, unfortunately, he has gone through a bout of cancer right now. I hope that he's able to beat it. He's in good spirits. So, however things go down, I have faith in him. But man, he takes these prescription medications. I don't know what they do, but one bottle of these prescription medication Costs $26,000 one bottle. Like that is beyond unaffordable. Like rich people can't afford that shit. $26,000 for one bottle of prescription. Like if you got a couple $1,000,000 in the bank, like that's like $26,000. That's so much money for one bottle. Like, bruh, like nobody can afford that shit. And it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Like how these people sit around in these boardrooms and think, how can we raise the price of these medications and these treatment plans and these services that people need to survive? How can we get richer off of this? Like, ugh, like that's just another level of scumbaggery. All of us are assholes from time to time. Sometimes we're not nice. Sometimes we're grumpy and maybe we're going through something in life and it causes us to just do things we maybe shouldn't do to, hurt people. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. And if you haven't, I don't believe you. I've done things wrong to people in my life 100%. I've wronged people, I've hurt people, and I regret that I have wronged and hurt people. But that's different. That's different than sitting in a boardroom in a meeting hall around a round table and discussing how can we make life-saving medication unaffordable for people. It's not the same league. You can give yourself some grace when you make a mistake in life. Maybe you fucked something up. Maybe you lied. Maybe you cheated. Maybe you did something, but you're a human being. You know what I'm saying? You're not this type of evil. Give yourself some grace.
Is the economic reality of today. So, what does President Trump's and Republican reconciliation bill do to address this grossly?
Maybe you stole a candy bar. Maybe you stole your best friend's dress. Maybe you was at your best friend's house and you stole her bracelet. And you never told her. It's okay, man. You're not making medication unaffordable for people. You're not out here taking people's lives. Give yourself some grace.
Unfair and, in my view, unstable economic situation. What are they doing when the very rich are becoming much richer while working families struggle? Well, here's the answer. This legislation makes the rich and wealthy campaign contributors even richer, while making life harder and more stressful for the working families of our country. This legislation provides massive tax breaks to the top 1% and large corporations and pays for these tax cuts by cutting Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, nutrition, education, and other programs that are life and death for working families. Let me just give you one example of how outrageous this legislation is. As currently written, this bill provides a $235 billion tax break to the top 0.2% by increasing the estate tax exemption for couples to $30 million. I'm not talking about the top 2%. I'm talking about the top 0.2%. The estate tax is only applicable to the very wealthiest people in this country who inherit substantial sums of money from a relative. Under this provision in this reconciliation bill, a couple that inherits $30 million would now pay zero tax on that inheritance. Once again, this provision applies only to the top 0.2% of Americans, the very, very wealthiest people in this country, and people just coincidentally, I know, make massive campaign contributions to the Republican Party. Coincidence, no doubt. 99.8% of Americans would not benefit by one nickel under this provision. Top 0.2%, $235 billion in tax breaks.
Bruh, We're gonna move on to something else because we don't need to just sit here and necessarily watch the whole thing. But this is what they doing. And you know, keep in mind as well, like you know, the Trump administration and Republicans, they're moving as fast as they can. They're trying to dismantle the administrative state, cut this, cut that, fire everybody as quickly as humanly possible. Because, you know, they're just politically, they're not in a good place. Like, you know, it's just not true that Trump has a mandate or that this is, you know, the things that they're doing. Oh, everyone's happy with this. No, we see it in the polling that people aren't happy with it. The thousands and thousands of people who are being fired aren't happy with it. The tariff war, you know, as these things continue to escalate and like just everyday prices on commodities and things that people need continue to rise, like that's not, you can't sugarcoat that. You can't hide that. And we're only a little bit over 100 days into Trump's term. One of the things that I say about him all the time, it's not just his incompetence that's such an issue. Really, what's more dangerous about his administration is he doesn't care. Like Donald Trump does not care about the job. It's he does. There's an agenda, but no plan. He just does what he wants, and all these clowns in his administration are beyond unqualified, or they just flat out paid money to be where they at. Like Linda McMahon dropped $20 million to be where she is. You know, Elon Musk, hundreds of millions of dollars to be where he is. This is the most corrupt administration we've ever seen. And you know, like Donald Trump don't give a damn about he don't care. He was running for office so that he will one, because why not? You know, why not be president again? But more importantly, he was running for office again because so he could stay out of prison. The United States bailed the American people ultimately bailed him out. And he feels that he can do whatever he wants because in a lot of ways he can. But you know, one of the nah, man, I won't be surprised if somebody tries to you know, if somebody shoots at him when he goes here and there, because nah, bro, like if you fuck up the economy completely and the whole world turns against us, nah, you can't sugarcoat that shit. So that's why they're trying to do everything as fast as they can, because you know, electorally, unless they just make it to where people's votes just straight don't count, they're not, man. A Republican is not going to win in 2028 after all this shit. So they fucking things up as fast as they can. And it's our job, you know, to get better candidates in office, not just for the presidency, but yeah, it really is the whole world, Dominic. It really is. Like the whole world is you know, they're rearranging trade agreements and rearranging partnerships and alliances, and you know, the dollar being the, oh, we got Mike Boy in the building. What's going on, my brother? You know, the dollar being the reserve currency, that you know, that's on the table. It's, you know, no, these people are legitimately destroying the country. Like that's actually what's happening.
Further, Mr. President, this legislation would provide a $420 billion tax breaks to large, profitable corporations that are stashing their profits in the Cayman Islands and other offshore tax havens, and who, by the way, are replacing American workers with robots. They got a tax break for throwing American workers out on the street and replacing them with new technology. Bottom line, the tax provisions in this reconciliation bill provide huge tax breaks to the people in our country who need it the least, while doing great harm.
We got Aloha in the building. Mike Boy, thank you so much for the membership. We got the new member in the building. It's looking better. I like the StreamYard better. What was it? I can't remember. The Be Live is what I was using the last time, but this one is much better.
To ordinary Americans. Mr. President, again, whether you're Democrat, Republican, or independent, you know that our current healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is cruel, it is wildly expensive. Despite spending almost twice as much per capita on healthcare as any other major nation, some 85 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured. and we remain the only major country on earth that does not guarantee.
Hey, Yodi, yes, thank you. We back. And as I stated at the beginning of the stream, I'm looking to do, for now, I'm looking to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live streams. I might end up just doing Wednesday and Friday so that we can do longer streams and just kind of break down all the stuff that's going on throughout the week. And I'm making a pivot to different types of things that I'm putting out on this channel. But yes, we are back, and I'm going to stay consistent with the live streams.
Guarantee health care to all people as a human right. So, given that reality, the reality of a broken, wildly expensive healthcare system, how does this reconciliation bill address the healthcare crisis in America? Does it expand healthcare to more Americans and lower the number of uninsured? We've got 85 million right now. Does it lower that number? Does it take on the greed of the insurance companies and the drug companies who make tens and tens of billions of dollars every single year by ripping off the people of our country? Is that what this reconciliation bill does? Not quite. What this legislation, in fact, does do is cut Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act by $715 billion, which the Congressional Budget Office has estimated would eliminate health insurance for 13.7 million Americans. In other words,
13.7 million Americans are looking at getting their health insurance taken away from them. And again, like you can't sugarcoat that. Like, you can't tell people who just lost their health insurance, and again, if this goes through, you can't tell them that that didn't happen. Like, these people, one, they're destroying the country. Literally, they're destroying it. Two, they're destroying themselves. Like, nah, man. White people about to revolt. That's what's about to happen. It ain't just about to be the black and brown folks and the gays and the lesbians and the trans people. No. White people. That's who about to be out here revolting. Your own people about to revolt against you. Because again, you can't pretend like this shit isn't happening. But you know what? This is the bed they made for themselves. So go ahead, keep fucking things up and keep destroying people's lives. And everybody gonna be out in the damn streets because they're not delivering for anyone.
This legislation makes a very bad situation in terms of our healthcare crisis catastrophically worse.
Almost 14 million people looking at getting their healthcare taken away from them. Like that.
If we were to pass this bill, the number of Americans who would be uninsured or underinsured would rise to almost 100 million Americans. In other words, instead of lowering the number of uninsured or underinsured people in this country, this bill greatly.
What happened? Why did it do this? I don't know. I don't know why the video just went on ahead and stopped playing, but you know what? We can move on. We can move on and talk a little bit more about that. Matter of fact, on Friday, I'll probably do a more of a breakdown into into what Bernie was talking about in terms of that bill. But again, like, you know, the prices keep going up. Our foreign alliances keep crumbling and crashing down. People lose their health care by the millions. No, people aren't going to just put up with this. It's not. No, we're only 113 days in or something like that. Get the fuck out of here, man. All right, now we got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And again, we live reacting because up until kind of recently, outside of my appearances on TYT, which you should check me out on, because now I'm going to be fully hosting the shows, especially on the Damage Report and Indisputable. You know what I'm saying? I always love when I get to be on with John on the Damage Report. They just hit me up about it for the 4th, I think. Yeah, for the 4th of June. And then, but yeah, y'all can continue to catch me on Indisputable and with Dr. Richie and the Damage Report with John Adirola. But yeah, man, I've been kind of taking a little bit of a detox from being neck deep in politics. One, because I've been having, you know, it's just, oh God, everyone needs a breather from it, and it's boring. Let's be serious. Let's be real. This shit's boring. Like this whole all this Trump shit, it's fucking boring now. I mean, we still got to talk about it, and sometimes it's. I mean, you still can't help but laugh at the man because he's a buffoon. He's just the biggest buffoon any of us have ever seen. But it's, you know, I had to take a step back and live my life. And I've been going through some things, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been going through some things. So I haven't really given a damn that much. But the fucks are returning into my spirit. And now I can give them and spread them out. I will spread my fucks out with all of you, and we gonna get it popping. So let's go ahead and check out what Health and Human Services honcho. And again, I gotta turn this ad blocker back on because it's there's too much going on. But yeah, we're desensitized. And again, we got Libby, you know, Libby, Mara Twin, Alonzo, Mike, well, you know, we all have our own lives to live. We all have our own problems to navigate through. Sometimes you just, you know, you just the orange clown can just take a back seat, even though he's in the driver's seat for all of us. Oh God. All right. Now, what is this dude talking about? He says he tells Congress that he doesn't think anyone should take medical advice from me. Again, this is the State of the Union, people. This is the situation we're in. A man who is the head of Health and Human Services is sitting here telling, I don't know if you should listen to me but when it comes to medical advice. I'm just the head of medicine in America. What the fuck do I know? You know, I mean, again, this is the state we're in. These people are destroying the country. Like they're literally destroying the country. It's not hyperbolic. It's not hyperbole. Okay, let's see. Well, let's hear it ourselves.
Probably for measles. You know, what I would say is my opinions about vaccines are irrelevant. I have directed Jay Bhattacharya.
Sure. No, like I said, I don't want to.
So that everybody can make that decision. But I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive.
Yeah.
But I don't think people should be taking medical advice from me.
Right. No, I got that.
Again, the head of Health and Human Services just said, my opinions on vaccines are irrelevant, and I don't think you should be taking medical advice from me. Amazing, absolutely amazing that this man is running Health and Human Services. Pete Hegseth, whoops, accidentally violated national security willy-nilly. And every time these people get caught red-handed with anything that they do, what do they say? What do they say? Nuh-uh. Your eyes are lying to you. Because again, like, here's the thing, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I've been saying on Indisputable over and over again. There's, you know, first and foremost, when the stakes are this high, you can't really afford to make silly errors like that. You know, this isn't an interpersonal relationship situation. This is national security for the whole country. But again, we're all human. We all make mistakes. So when you make a mistake and you get caught red-handed, or you make a mistake and your mistake causes damage to other people, you have a couple of options on how you deal with it, right? Well, really, you only got two. Well, overall, you have two options. The first option, which people will respect, people will be willing to give you grace, people will be willing to have empathy for you if you're like, yeah, I messed that up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I messed that up. I take accountability for it. This is my plan moving forward on how I'm not going to do this again. We're all going to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because I don't want to do this. I don't want to make a mess in this way. When you do that, people, not always, but oftentimes people will be like, yeah, you know what? I forgive you. Let's go ahead and see if we can work this out. Or you can do it. And again, that implies for any type of situation. Or you can do the other thing to where you're like, Nah, I didn't do anything wrong. No, you tripping. You did something wrong. There's nothing to see here. It's fake news. No, because when you do that, it's like, how can I respect that? How can I feel that your intentions are good when you can't even take accountability for the wrong that you've committed? You see, that's just called being an adult. But a lot of the times you got motherfuckers running around children in adult bodies, which is why you should go to therapy. I recommend it. I recommend it. I highly recommend it. But yes, and again, absolutely incredible that the head of Health and Human Services is sitting here saying my opinion on vaccines are irrelevant, and uh um y'all shouldn't listen to me about medical opinions. Okay, what we got now? We got Trump. Oh, we got the Donald. What is he talking about now? Yes, these people, indeed, yes, they are Nazis. He said y'all shouldn't listen to my opinion on medicine, but he runs medicine in the country. Oh God. This is why, sometimes I deeply, deeply regret working in politics, but somebody's got to do it. And there's a lot of work to be done. Trump gushes praise at Hannity on Fox News over election. You were wonderful to me. He's such a little boy. Probably going to have to watch an ad. Patience, my people, patience. Stoned Assassin, thank you so much for the membership. Margarita, yes, I'm live, and I'm going to be going live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So join me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Oh, can we not? Do I have to reload the page? What's going on right now? Let's see. Yep.
Can your
We got
dentures withstand the force of a golf swing? Here we have Nubia's permanent teeth.
They're asking, how could they be that extreme? Aren't they that extreme?
Well, not all of them. I think you have a lot of them that they don't know where they are right now. I think they don't know what to do, like men playing in women's sports. I saw a guy that I know, a good guy, Democrat. He's trying to justify, 2 days ago on television, he's being hammered, and he's trying to justify men playing in women's sports, and it's sad. I wanted to call him and say, you better get over.
Again, this guy's destroying the economy, destroying our alliances, just making a mess of everything. Well, men and women's sports, because again, I mean, at this point, what do you really even say to this shit anymore, man? I mean, look at his face. Look at him. Look at him. He's a joke. He's just a joke.
Off that subject. That's not an 80-20. That's about a 97-3. Okay. If they talk about, the famous, they always say it's 80-20. What's not, a lot of these things are not 80-20, like transgender for everybody. Let's have.
What does that even mean? Transgender for everybody, he said. He said transgender for everybody. What the fuck? Oh. Bro, how did we put this dude back in office? How? How? This was not a difficult decision. It just wasn't. This was not a hard decision. You motherfuckers really put this, but oh my God. Listen to what he said. Transgender for everyone.
A lot of these things are not 80-20, like transgender for everybody. Let's have transgender for everybody, your kids, everybody. That's not an 80-20. They always say that's 80-20.
Your kids, my kids. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't.
That's 99-1, I would say. So look, in one way, I don't like talking about it because I don't want to talk them out of it, because it would be harder to beat them if they were normal on things. It shows that they're almost insane, and they do suffer from Trump derangement syndrome at a high level. And I guess I'm honored by that. But I'll say this, look, we had an election. You were so wonderful to me. You were really an amazing professional. You did it for the right reason. You didn't do it for the wrong reason, but you were so professional. And we won every swing state. We won the popular vote by a lot. We won everything. We won.
No, you didn't. You won the popular vote by 1.5 percentage points. But of course, this is Donald Trump. And of course, he won in 2020 as well.
A thing called that people don't like districts. So in the country, you have districts, thousands of districts. We got 2,750 districts versus 525 districts. Think of that. That's why when you look at a map, it's actually a very important stat. When you look at a map, the map shows it's practically all red, the Republican Party. And this is a big party. You know, we won. Look how well we did with the auto workers. We won the Teamsters. The Teamsters were big for us. The unions were big. The non-unions were big. Right to work was massive. But the unions, we won unions all over the place. And we basically won workers. We also won people of common sense. Rich people, poor people, middle income people. We won sort of everybody. You know, if you take a look at the stats, you know, we did great with Hispanic. The Hispanic people came to us like nobody's ever seen before.
Asking, how could they be that extreme? Aren't they that extreme?
Well, not all of them. I think you have a lot of them that they don't know where they are right now. I think they don't know what to do, like men playing in women's sports. I saw a guy that I know, good guy, Democrat. He's trying to justify, 2 days ago on television, he's being hammered. And he's trying to justify.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm finishing sending this email. 1 sec. Sorry.
Men playing in women's sports. And it's sad. I wanted to call him and say, you better get off that subject. That's not an 80-20. That's about a 97-3. Okay? If they talk about, you know, the famous, they always say it's 80-20. What's not? A lot of these things are not 80-20, like transgender for everybody. Let's have transgender for everybody, your kids, everybody. That's not an 80-20. They always say that's 80-20. That's 99-1, I would say. So, look, in one way, I don't like talking about.
Okay, we moving on. But yes, again, transgender for everybody. No, seriously. That's you know, that's the ultimate point right there. That's the ultimate point. I mean, ultimately, you know, it's two-sided. One, the American people chose this, and two, the fact that Democrats lost to this man again. Yeah, how? I'm like, oh my God. This dude is sitting on a plane talking about transgender for everyone, free transgender for all the children. Like, what? Like, oh, how the fuck did y'all lose to this dude? But hey, man, it is what it is now. It is what it is now. You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? Except move on and live your life. All right, now what we got now? We got a couple more things, but no, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time in this first live stream back while I'm texting people and sending emails and handling stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yes, exactly. Transgender for everybody. That's an awesome license plate and quite fitting for the times we're in. You got to stick it to the man in any way that you can, and perhaps getting a dope ass license plate like that is the answer. So a sip with my pinky ring held high to that one, player. That's how you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I learned that shit from SpongeBob a long time ago. Well, actually, Patrick Star. You feel me? Like he was trying to show and run SpongeBob kind of through the rings of how to be cool and how to be smooth. You know what I mean? So when in doubt, pinky out. You feel me? And now that's just kind of how I do my thing when I take a sip of anything. You know, keep that pinky ring held up high while you take your sip. All right, now where we going to now? Okay, so we got some bad news here about FEMA. And you know, again, stuff like this. Oh, just dismantle everything, defund everything, fire everybody. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Well, we finding out at rapid light year speed. What is rapid light year speed? All right, let's see. Here we go. FEMA not ready for hurricane season, internal review finds. As the Federal Emergency Management Agency prepares for the approaching hurricane season, the agency is ill-prepared, according to an internal document obtained by ABC News. The document was prepared for acting FEMA Administrator David Richardson as he takes the helm of the agency responsible for managing federal disasters. As FEMA transforms to a smaller footprint, the intent for this hurricane season is not well understood. Thus, FEMA is not ready. We don't really know. We didn't know there were going to be hurricanes during hurricane season. So, like, I just give me a break, man. The document says that FEMA is uncertain about its future while planning for hurricane season, which starts in a couple weeks. Staffing limitations and hiring will also impact FEMA's operations, according to the document, as well as lack of coordination with states. Richardson was placed at FEMA by Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem after former acting administrator Cam Hamilton was fired last week because of his testimony in front of a House panel, according to a source familiar with the matter, which went against the shuttering of the agency. Richardson told employees during his first all-hands meeting last week to not get in his way when he is trying to achieve the president's objectives. Again, well, the president doesn't have any objectives. His objective was to stay out of prison. Mission accomplished. Now he just wakes up and does whatever he wants to do in the moment. That is his objective. He doesn't give a damn. Okay. Now he continues. Don't get in my way if you're those 20% of people, he told employees last Friday morning, according to a source with knowledge of the meeting. I know all the tricks. Okay, well, what is he talking about? Obfuscation, delay, undermining. If you're one of those 20% of the people and you think those tactics and techniques are going to help you, they will not, because I will run right over you, he said, according to a source with knowledge of the meeting. I will achieve the president's intent. I am as bent on achieving the president's intent as I was on making sure that I did my duty when I took my Marines to Iraq. What are you talking about, though? There's nothing being said. Well, we're almost done. A couple more sentences. But basically, what I'm reading here is that they don't know what they're doing, and they're not going to know what they're doing, and that we should all fuck off. That's basically what I read. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm doing. Y'all shouldn't give a damn that I don't know what I'm doing. When the hurricanes come and blows your house away, fuck you, okay? Don't come running and complaining and begging and asking me with your hands out. That's not my problem. Even though I'm the head of the agency, fuck that. Oh, we got Christina in the building. Hello. Lovely sister Christina. How are you today? See, I told you I was going to be back. I told you. See, yesterday, I wanted to stream yesterday, but I got caught up, getting myself together. I was at the barbershop, and it is what it is. But again, we looking to do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I might just do Wednesdays and Fridays. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to just do Wednesdays and Fridays after about a month, because again, I want to do longer shows to where we can talk more in depth about things. Because I'm shifting and pivoting a little bit as I get involved in other things. All right, so now we got Leslie Jones, the comedian Leslie Jones. I guess she's roasting the United States. All right, let's see what's up. Where we at? And I don't know what time I'm gonna do this yet. I'll do this either at 11 or 12 Central Time, one of the two. Yes, I did. Look at the trees. I got some new work on my hand. I got skull and rose. I now have 8 roses on my body, and I'm gonna keep getting more tattoos. You feel me? But yes, Brother D, he did this at Iron Age Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. Probably the best tattoo shop in the whole city, at least. Definitely the whole city. All right, let's listen to Leslie Jones talk a little shit. You know what I mean? We're probably gonna have to watch an ad first. I got to turn these ad blockers off. They were off, but I think some some program I put on here like messed it up, but I'll figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Can your dentures withstand the force of a golf swing? Here we have Nubia's permanent teeth in 24 hours, known for their strength and durability. The other, a denture, known for being a temporary solution. Dentures, fragile, temporary, and uncomfortable. I think that's all that's left.
With these Trump folks, it's not that y'all, it's not that they're corrupt, although they are. It's not that they're evil, although they are. It's not that they're women-hating, racist, unqualified dickheads who couldn't run a Dunkin' Donuts without burning it down.
Facts.
No, my problem is these people are goofy-ass mother. I thought Reagan was bad, but at least he knew how to talk. I thought Bush was bad, but at least he has a hilarious name. But what do we have now? J.D. Vance, RFK Jr., and Elon Musk. I cannot believe America is going to be ended by these loser incels.
Nah, that is the truth though, man. Like, hey, yo, Leslie Jones is funny as hell. I remember I saw one of her stand-ups years. The first time I came across her, shit, it might have been like pushing 10 years ago at this point. Man, she had me rolling. That shit hurt. I don't remember what stand-up it was, but that shit was hilarious. But yeah, no, America is being destroyed and ended by the lamest people in the country, literally.
That's not how I plan to go out. I was going to go out nestled peacefully between the two Michael B. Jordans. But instead, we get Elon Musk, who is doing this dumb shit.
Elon, I love the double hat, by the way. He's the only one that can do that. Get away with it.
Well, Mr. President, you know, they say I wear a lot of hats. It's true. Even my hat has a hat.
Cut that goofy shit out. This is a cabinet meeting.
Hold on, we got Queen. Hold on, Fritza. Did I miss? We got the Queen herself. I cannot believe I missed Fritza when she came up in here. I had my head buried in my phone. I'm over here not paying attention. The Queen walks in. Who the hell do I think I am? Fritza, how are you today? It's so good to have you here. And it's also just good to be back. You know what I'm saying? It is so good to be back doing this. I feel good. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we all feel, I hope that I'm helping y'all to feel good, but we got the Queen herself in the building.
Have some damn respect. This is official shit. How is this guy firing people? If this guy gave me a pink slip, I'd give his ass a black eye. Why don't you fire one of them hats, bitch? Why don't you fire one of them hats, bitch? And by the way, how you gonna be Mr. Jokes when you don't even
Pinkabell. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here. I'm really enjoying myself. This feels great. And it's just good to be back. But again, I'm gonna be scheduling these out, and I'm really excited about the documentary projects that I'm working on, because again, it's just career-wise, it's just it'll help me do more, and it'll help me give more as well. Because, like, you know, live streaming and news, and it's cool, but news is every day, and it's once it's over, it's over. You feel me? So like, I want to make more meaningful projects that go further. And that's what I'm doing now. So I'm excited for y'all to be a part of that. And I'm currently working on 3 of them. So yeah, we getting it going.
know when you're hearing a joke?
What's more challenging, going to Mars or taking on Washington?
Going to Mars.
You're like, Hey man, the Daily Show, man. The Daily Show. One of these motherfuckers gonna end up hiring me. So one of these shows is gonna end up calling me up and be like, "Hey, we want you to do this at some point."
You was kidding, you goofy mother. What is wrong with you? And how you got so many kids? Because I wouldn't you with my enemies for. And I hate that bitch. I would rather a turkey baster. Hell, I'd rather a turkey.
said, I'd rather fuck a turkey. Hey, yeah, we having a good time. Okay, so what's up with this, man? I don't know if y'all have seen this. Okay, but apparently Chat GPT is catching people cheating out here. I don't know what's up. Now, I don't know what's up with this, but we're gonna check this out. After 12 years of marriage, Chat GPT, what we got? Let's see, y'all. It's not showing. Okay, here we go. Shit, Alonzo, he got 14 kids that we know of. He might got more kids than that. After 12 years of marriage, woman files for divorce after ChatGPT claims her husband's infidelity through coffee grounds interpretation. Okay, I'm just curious to see how this worked out. Okay. In a bizarre, ever since OpenAI introduced ChatGPT into our lives, it has not only completely revolutionized AI and and how the technology is used, but has also become more accepted and commonly used in various companies. It has become such a vital part of users' lives that its usage extends medically as well. And there, okay, I don't really. What I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Okay, how did this goddamn thing catch the coffee? Since the inception of ChatGPT, we have seen the chatbot being used in different institutions, and it has helped streamline many tasks. For instance, it has aided medically and academically and has profoundly impacted users' lives. While we have seen technology being put to many uses, an unusual case has come up where the chatbot was used as a fortune telling tool to detect a husband's traces of infidelity. Oh, it is getting juicy. What is going? Okay, look, how did this go down? What seems to be a mix of modern technology as well as ancient customs. Can you just get to the damn point? Okay, a Greek woman who followed the tradition of tas- tasseography, wherein you read fortunes and coffee grounds, took a picture of the coffee in her husband's cup for ChatGPT to interpret. What she was not expecting was a detailed response from the AI tool pointing to signs of infidelity. ChatGPT even suggested that what the husband was thinking about was threatening to break the family. Is this some fortune teller shit? I'm thinking that this thing is like, okay, so thus far, I don't know. Thus far, this seems like maybe, I don't know. Let's keep going. Okay, so ChatGPT suggested that the person's letter started with an E. While this seems to be a case of digital age fortune telling, what it led to is quite alarming. As the woman then confronted the husband who denied the accusation, still the woman eventually initiated divorce despite the, oh, this is stupid. Where's the proof? If there's no proof, then why is this even a story? Because I've seen this posted a couple places, and thus far that there's all this says is that Chat GPT did some fortune teller shit, and she ran to her husband and said, "Who is she?" And he was like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, so she initiated divorce. The husband did not agree to the mutual separation. She sent the papers. The husband's lawyer is now fighting the case and maintaining that AI generated coffee interpretations have no legal standing. Are you serious, man? She wanted to leave his ass. She was already done. She was already done. That's really what happened. She was already done with his ass, and then she just used that as the logic, because we were well, Twin Dragon, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that everything goes well with you. I can't wait to do it again as well. We're gonna be back. We'll be back Monday, because and then we'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we'll be back Monday. But yeah, no, this obviously is not. This is not legitimate. I'm thinking that there was like some real high tech shit going on, but to me, right, he was like, "This is why, Helen. This is why right here. I can't get a fucking break. Because you never leave me the fuck alone. I do my best. I'm out here walking on eggshells, and nothing's ever good enough for you, Helen." Yeah, nah. But yeah, she was ready to leave his ass, and she just used that as an excuse because human beings, how we operate for the most part, We make decisions emotionally, and then we rationalize those decisions with logic, which is why we're liable to change our minds, because people's feelings change. People's feelings change all the damn time about things. So, that's why. Be like, well, I thought this made a lot of sense to me at the time, but then my feelings changed, and then the logic starts changing. You could be like, I don't want to do this because X, Y, and Z. And then later your feelings change. And you're like, I do want to do this for A, B, and C. Fuck X, Y, and Z. That's not a big deal anymore. At first it was a big deal, but now that my feelings have changed, it's no longer a big deal. That's how we work. That is how human beings operate. We are all emotional creatures. But yeah, Mara, that was a scenario. I knew exactly what you were thinking. I knew that's exactly the scenario that I had in my mind. But where are we at now? Let's see. That is it for the day, everybody. That is it for the day. I had a good time. But look, again, we'll be back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I expect after about a month of doing that I'm just going to do Wednesday and Friday live streams, because again, we'll be able to do more for a news show like that. I'll be able to stream for like 2 or 3 hours. So that's the plan. I'm in a really good place in my life. I'm a lot healthier than, man, when I first started doing these streams, y'all remember I used to start off smoking. That was after I had done other drugs. You feel me? So I've come a long way since then, and I really appreciate all of you for sticking with me. I've made good friends through this. I was just linked up with my boy Mike Boy a couple weeks ago, and I'm grateful for the support that y'all give me. So catch me on Monday, and y'all have a fantastic rest of the day and a good weekend. Hey now. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, and it really helps to support what we do here.